Damia was born and raised on a diversified livestock farm where she quickly learned her love for the agricultural world. It all started in a barn with her dad and being very involved in 4-H and FFA. During college, she majored in animal science and agriculture science while working for a large sheep operation off campus. Little International, the largest student-run event in the nation, was Damia's favorite to help put on and show at in college. Damia now works for a deer nutrition company called Analogics Outdoors while juggling many of her own businesses and hobbies. Please help me welcome Damia to the podcast. Hey y'all, this is Allie Spears, your host of the Ag Chicks podcast, where I cultivate connections with the women who are helping feed the world. Well, I'm very excited to have you on the podcast today, Damia, and to get to know more about you. Also, you deserve a huge shout out and a huge thank you because I really think you've been there since the beginning in terms of following along and supporting. So I want to just say thank you. I appreciate you so much. And I'm so excited to chat with you today and have not only myself, but also the listeners get to know a little bit more about you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So why don't we start from the beginning, if you're good with that? So where did you grow up, or kind of where are you from?
So I grew up on a small diversified livestock farm in southern Minnesota.
Okay.
Then I went to college in South Dakota, and now I'm back in Minnesota.
Back in Minnesota. Okay, so full circle. So growing up, I know kind of just from your bio and just like small interactions and stuff that you were involved in 4-H and FFA. What was that like in terms of like what were the activities that you were involved in those organizations?
So I actually loved FFA and 4-H a lot. I didn't join 4-H until I was a little bit older because I was involved in too many other things and sports and whatnot. But with FFA, I loved doing the livestock judging. And then I did crops for a few years as well. Made it to state for each of those. And then for 4-H, I mainly showed lambs, also did goats for a few years, and photography.
Awesome. So you had a full plate and lots of projects going on.
Yep.
Big lots of things to put in your record book, right? For 4-H.
Yeah.
And then the what's the one for FFA? I can never remember. What's your SAE projects, but then there's like a book, isn't there? Or
Oh,
like
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it
yeah,
though.
I can't either. So for me, for FFA, I only did FFA my last 2 years of high school, because it wasn't at my school. So when I could drive, I went to the neighboring high school, but same thing, livestock judging. And we were not super like we didn't do a ton for FFA chapters. So some of the stuff, especially living in Texas now where it's huge, people will tell me things about like all the different stuff that goes on in FFA, and sometimes I'm just like, okay, cool. Like I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Glad
Well.
that you get to do that.
Because where'd you grow up again?
I grew up in California.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So FFA is definitely a big thing there, and so is 4-H, but our chapter was just kind of small, so it was just different experience, I guess.
Yeah.
So then you went to South Dakota for college. What was that like?
I loved it a lot. Obviously toured other colleges and everything, but I just felt like South Dakota State was home to me. And I went there for animal science and egg science. So really good community, and it was kind of like a big egg college too. So that was fun. And I did some more livestock judging classes and stuff there as well. And it was awesome.
So did you judge at South Dakota, or just kind of the classes and stuff?
I just did the classes. I decided not to go through with the actual livestock judging team.
Yeah.
But then I was involved with Little International. I don't know if you know what that is, but
Tell me about it, because I know what it is, but I don't know. And like I know people who went to South Dakota State and then were like also involved in that. So tell me what it entails, because I know the bare minimum.
So it's kind of like FFA in an aspect and 4-H together, but it's all student run and led. And then it would happen, the big event would happen in about April. But one day FFA students could come and judge the livestock that we had. And then the next day, the college students would participate. And so the students would show, judge, and then they could also do like those contests as well as the ones for like FFA. So it's just a big event that was kind of going on.
So did you help kind of facilitate that, or you were just as a like a participant?
So a few years I did help put it on within different committees. I like doing the go committee because if you were helping with like one livestock animal, then you couldn't show that one. So I
Okay.
showed a lamb one year, and then I tried showing a heifer one year, but that's when COVID happened, and so everything got canceled. Um, and then I did the photography contest as well there, but
Cool. Okay, that's super cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Is that something that happens at other like in other locations or just there?
I don't know if other colleges really do something like that. I know we have like the largest one in the nation, I guess, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. What a cool experience.
Hmm.
So going into college, I know you said you studied animal science and ag science. Did you have like a dream job or like a career route that you thought you were gonna pursue through those majors?
Well, growing up, I always wanted to be a vet. Worked with other vets and everything on the farm and in the hog barns and everything. And then went to college, started taking the classes, and the classes for vet school were very, very hard. And then the vets I kind of worked with also talked me out a little bit, talked me out of it.
Yeah.
Um, but then I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Obviously, still wanted to stay within the livestock um, area, but then I graduated and still didn't know what I wanted to do. So I applied at different places, and now I'm in the nutrition hunting company.
So did you, I know, and I want to get into kind of what you currently do in just a minute, but before, I guess, graduation, and you graduated in what year did you graduate?
2022.
Okay. So before that, had you had any like interaction? Did you grow up in kind of the hunting side of an industry or as a
Um,
hobby? Like, what was your connection there if you had one beforehand, I guess is my question.
yeah, so I started hunting with my dad when I was 12, and we just always went deer hunting every year. We lived 2 hours away from our hunting ground though, so we would go there for the opening weekend and sometimes second weekend, and that was basically it.
Yeah.
And then I got more into it, I guess, with what I do now.
I feel like, and the reason I ask that is I feel like, and this is going to be stereotypical type of statement here, but I feel like in most situations, girls who enjoy hunting got into it because of their dad or like a brother or
Yeah.
something like that. Because that's definitely like how my excitement or passion, I guess, for hunting started. Um, in Northern California, there isn't a ton of deer hunting, but like duck hunting is a huge thing. And so that
Mhm.
was like what we did. And yeah, I definitely miss it because I haven't been hunting in a very long time, but definitely
Come
dad.
on.
Yeah, that would be so much fun.
Yeah.
And so you um work for a nutrition company now, obviously, and the hunting industry within itself is like one of the most fascinating industries in terms of all of the stuff that happens within it.
Mhm.
So that being said, did you have like what was your learning curve when you kind of got your position in terms of did you have to learn that industry or was it something that you kind of already kind of knew what was going on?
I kind of had to learn more about it because we've never put out products or anything like that where we go hunting at. So just learning about the minerals and the vitamins and all the different feed and products that people like use and this company has in like food plots. So learn more about that. But I also do their social media and some marketing and everything. So I didn't have to learn too much of that aspect, but
Yeah, and that was gonna be my next question. Like, what is your specific role that you kind of do for them and kind of for your job?
So I do the social media, photos, manage the pro staffers, help plant food plots, and manage the feed and mineral site. So kind of a little bit of everything.
Do you have a territory or is it kind of for the whole company in terms of wherever their products are reach?
So we're based in southern Minnesota,
Okay.
but we sell everything through like Cabela's, Bass Pro, Fleet Farm, So I don't do too much of that aspect. I do like make ads for like the
Gotcha.
companies and stuff, but everything's in-house here in southern Minnesota.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So I know you said you
Yeah.
had like the interest in photography, and is that kind of where the marketing side of things started for you, or what led you to marketing from animal science and ag science, right? You
Yeah,
kind of got
yeah.
to that point.
I suppose it was probably my photography and then also just everything on Instagram too. Has kind of all intertwined with each other.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And for Instagram, because I know that's kind of another part of what you do with like content creation and all of that. What made you decide like, hey, I'm gonna start this like kind of journey on social media?
Well, I remember freshman year of college, I started following Marika on Instagram.
The
And
OG.
yeah, and I just kind of always loved her outfits and everything. So I feel like that's how I kind of got into more Western fashion as well and just posting my outfits on Instagram. Um, and then that just kind of grew from there, I guess, and then started sharing more hunting and farming different topics.
Yeah, and you kind of have like a wide variety of the things that you do talk about. How has that kind of evolved for you? Like when you first started sharing things, were you like, okay, I'm gonna stick to this, or was it more of a my life? Like what was the approach that you kind of decided to take?
So for a while there was just Western fashion
Yeah.
and kind of what I did. And then started hunting more in different species and whatnot and working for this company. Um, and I'm like, I'm just gonna, share it all. And so I feel like sharing more has helped me grow, even though people tell you to niche down and everything, which is hard. There's so many different things to share.
Right. And I think sometimes too, the whole like niche down concept, like I definitely understand it from a strategic standpoint, but also people want to follow or interact with people that they feel like they can relate to or they can connect to and that are real people. And
Mhm.
so I
Yeah,
feel like sometimes when you share only one aspect of your life, it's hard to kind of create that community because we're not one-dimensional individuals, right? Like there's lots of
yeah.
things going on.
Yeah, like
Um,
what else do you do besides just that?
exactly. And for you especially, because sometimes, and I told you, I do this to everyone. I say I'm not going to ask any controversial questions, and then something comes up. Not that this is controversial, but hunting sometimes, especially on social media, can have some different opinions, much like agriculture, right? That can come along with it. But how have you kind of managed that, if you've even experienced that to this point, and kind of what has led you to feel confident in being able to share maybe that side of things?
Um, it's a good question.
I
I
know,
feel
sorry.
like, I feel like just I've been trying to be like more myself and not really caring what others think. And if they like say a comment rude or don't really know what's going on, I try to like help teach them and the correct things,
Mhm.
um, just teach them more, I guess. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that that's the right approach. Um, I was talking to somebody the other day about just agriculture, and someone asked me about negative comments and stuff like that. And for the most part, podcast wise, I don't really get any negative comments, thank goodness. But again, like agriculture, right? There's going to be some out there, and so I think just trying to have a conversation and not be combative is the only approach to take, I guess. I don't really know. It's such
Yeah.
social media, man. It's a wild
Mhm.
ride sometimes.
Yeah, there's always going to be rude comments and everything, but just try not to take them to heart, even though it's hard. Or
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. And I mean, also being a woman, right, in the
Mhm.
hunting industry, what has that been like for you?
I've always like the beginning. I was like, do they will they believe me or trust me, or whatever. Um, but talking to more and just kind of growing within the industry, I think has helped. There's not always a bunch of women
Right.
in the hunting industry, so the women who are helps a lot too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And kind of your background in agriculture, has that helped you, do you think, in terms of I don't know, being able to connect and kind of understand how to be involved in an industry that you might be a minority in?
Yeah, I think it has. Just I would say women are also a minority in the egg world too.
Yeah.
So both of them kind of intertwine with the nutrition and animal health and everything. They kind of go along and just helping out with everything.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I would agree. And so I know you said diversified kind of ag operation. What does that mean for you guys? By ranchers for ranchers. Together, let's make ranching easier. Previously known as Cattle Back Box, Strayhorn has rebranded to better match their ability to push the envelope in creating innovative animal management products to serve the ranching community. Strayhorn is rooted in tradition and ranching legacy, but they believe in the opportunity of looking at things with a new perspective to drive the industry forward. Check out all of the things that Strayhorn has to offer you and your herd.
So we don't have any crops really. We just had some alfalfa fields, but then we had sheep, goats, basically everything you could think of, poultry, a few horses and llamas, and just kind of everything, and some cattle. And then kind of once I was done showing 4-H and went to college, we kind of got rid of most of the livestock, just wasn't home to help dad and everything else. And was done showing as well, obviously. But so it's kind of hard going home sometimes, and it's not like the same as before. I'm not a big fan of change either. But every once in a while we'll still get some heifers or steers just to feed out to fill our freezes again, but that's about it.
Yeah, I can relate to that. My dad always jokes that when I left for college, he lost his cowgirl, and so
Yeah.
he like definitely uh, took our herd size down quite a bit, just because it's a lot harder to do when you're working by yourself. But my brother, so I was the ag kid, and then my brother was the sports kid,
Okay.
and he lived at home for a while just during COVID and stuff because he was in college, and so he was doing classes remotely and stuff, and so he kind of got into the cattle a little bit. But my dad always jokes that if I don't want the cows, they need to go because he's not
Mhm.
going to take them.
Yeah, my brother wasn't too involved with anything egg with us either. He didn't do 4-H or anything like that as well.
Yeah, isn't that always amazes me how two kids, right, or siblings can be raised in the
Mhm.
same household and then have completely different interests and like completely
Yeah.
different personalities.
Yep, exactly. Which can be nice, you don't always do the same stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Add a little variety to the dinner conversation.
Yeah.
And then I know you also have some other things going on. So tell me about like everything you've got going on in terms of businesses and kind of all of the different opportunities that you're currently pursuing.
So full time with Analogics Outdoors, the hunter nutrition company. And then kind of on the sides, I do my own photography business as well. I was just in Arkansas for about 2 weeks. I was hunting for a week with some girls for waterfowl, and then I photographed for a week for this outfitter down there. So that was pretty awesome. I've done everything from weddings, livestock shows, families, the whole 9 yards, I feel like, with that, trying to bring it down to just a few things and not the whole range. And then I also kind of have a little health business as well. Um, just started that in October. So that's been pretty fun. Kind of dove deep into that after going to convention in September. But yeah, I'm always staying busy, I feel like.
Yeah, right. I feel like you're always on the road too. Like you're always traveling. So do you travel
Yeah.
quite a bit for your like your job, or is that just more like your photography business and those kinds of things?
More just for myself, kind of. We will go to some trade shows and everything for work, or if I'm photographing stuff with other people or whatnot. But yeah, it's kind of mainly for my own businesses that I travel a lot for.
Yeah. So if you could photograph, not photography, if you could photograph one thing, What would be like hands down your favorite thing or like your favorite shoot you've ever done?
Oh gosh. Um,
Do you just do photography or do you do videography too?
I kind of started doing some videos, but they're not my favorite.
Yeah.
Um, I would say my favorites are livestock shows and hunting, but then it's also really hard because then I also want to be hunting myself, or like I miss being in the ring showing.
Right.
But I like those two, I'd say the most.
And livestock shows in terms of like youth livestock or just in like just livestock shows in general?
Just in general, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like those two, I mean, you just said like they're challenging because you want to be doing those things, but I feel like those you have to be on your game like the entire time, right? Because you have like literally a second just to capture that perfect shot. Like
Yeah, exactly.
especially in hunting, there's no do-overs. You can't reshake the judge's hand in hunting. You
Yep,
can't reshoot the bird.
yep. Be like, oh wait, can you redo that, please?
Right. Can you send the dog back out, please, real quick?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, but it's always fun staying busy. I feel like I get really bored if I have nothing to do.
Yeah, I can relate to that for sure, for sure. And then I feel like too, I'm tired usually because I am always on the go, but then I can't get things done if I'm like trying to relax because I'm thinking about like, okay, I gotta do this, this, and this. So I might as well just go for it.
Yep. Or like your mind will be racing with ideas or what you can be doing or for the next day. And it's like, hey, just gotta start somewhere.
Yes, for sure. So looking forward, is there something like a dream shoot that you have or like an opportunity that you would be working towards in any of the different things that you're going to like you have going on?
Working towards possibly going to Africa to go hunt, I guess, either later
That's
this year or next year.
my dream hunt. Oh my God.
Come with me.
Oh my God, let's do it. I'm down. Let's go.
It'd be so fun.
Oh my goodness. That would be insane. We were just talking actually on my family vacation. My dad has a business partner who's like done all of the like crazy hunts like all over the world. And
Mhm.
my brother went to pick something up from him and he was like, "Yeah, I went in there and like he has all these crazy animals on the walls and blah blah blah." And we were talking about like how cool would it be to go? And
Mhm.
oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine. That would be
Yeah.
so cool. What like
It's
do you have any particular like animal that you like would be after? What?
Yeah, so this might sound bad to like some people, but I really want to get a zebra. Either just, keep the hide and then like maybe a shoulder mount or something, but
Yeah.
I've always loved zebras a lot and I think it would be cool, I guess.
That would be so cool. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you get to go because that's oh, we're gonna go together. We're gonna go
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
What? So I've never done like an international hunt or anything like that. What goes into having like getting all of that taken care of? Do you know, like in terms of the legality of all of that? And we don't have to go in detail of it, but
Yeah, no. Well, I'm kind of working with an outfitter through there, and so they kind of help you out with everything, I guess. I don't know too much of it right now, I guess, but obviously you pay your own airfare and everything to get over there, and then they provide all the meals, and just traveling and
yeah,
yeah,
just like any other guided hunt, I guess, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm like, my wheels are spinning. That would
I
be
know.
such an incredible trip.
I'll start
Any
planning it.
other one? Anything
What was
else you
that?
got on any other like things you have on your radar?
Um, Not too much right now, I guess. The Pheasants Forever banquet, I guess, coming up in March, but
So I know you mentioned you guys go to conferences and conventions and stuff. Is there any other like do you guys do work with like I don't know, influencer hunter individuals and stuff or like that you help with the social media wise? Like what does
Mhm.
your kind of day-to-day look like in terms of social media creation and marketing?
Well, so we are also partnered with Lee and Tiffany, the
Mm,
Crush Outdoors. And so they are kind of like partnered with us and then Drury Outdoors as well. So we kind of, there's a whole entire crush line that we carry. And sometimes we well, we have pro staffers. We have about 20 pro staffers right now that I manage. And so sometimes we send the product and they get content for us, send it back to me. And that's kind of what I will also use to post once in a while. Otherwise, like last summer, I went to go a few hours away and I photographed one myself. But yeah, from day to day, I schedule out content. Right now, I have mostly all of March already planned and scheduled out. So it's nice being able to plan ahead, with everything. Um, Keep in touch with the pro staffers and just check all the social media pages and take more photos and videos and just get ready for the next season.
Yeah. Is the hunting industry, and I guess this question is forming as it's coming out of my mouth, so bear with me. But do things move as quickly in the hunting industry as they do in some of the others in terms of like trends? Or would you say things kind of like are established and they build on each other for a while? Or is it constantly all over the place?
Um, Kind of both, I
Yeah.
guess. Um, we so it just used to be deer that products that we used to have,
Okay.
and so then last year we added bear and moose as well,
Mm.
because more hunters can start using that stuff where they hunt at. And we might have some more stuff in the works for next year with different animals, but yeah, I feel like it kind of, obviously we were more busy during the hunting season and getting ready for it, but um kind of goes back and forth, I suppose.
Yeah. And then in terms of marketing the products that you guys have, do you have like a specific approach that you try to tailor to it without like okay, the reason I ask is I feel like those are very unique products, right? So you have a very specific audience that you're trying to reach. So is it the
Yep.
same tactics as like other industries? I'm assuming yes, but just with the hunting spin, right?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I make paid ads, on Facebook and target the stores that we carry our products in, so that helps a lot. Um, and then anybody on Instagram or
Right.
Facebook that outdoors wise.
Yeah. And so you guys do like direct to consumer sales, but then also have retailers, correct?
Correct, yep.
Okay. That's kind of nice though to kind of, excuse me, spread the wealth in terms of what you have to do from the marketing standpoint, but then also
Mhm.
sales. So that's nice.
Yep. Yeah, and then we run like deals, and certain deals on our pages as well. So kind of all the aspects.
Yeah. All the things going on all
Yep.
at once.
Yeah.
That's exciting though. So how long has this company been around? Fairly new or established?
I would say I think it's like 2012. So a
Okay.
while.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So then are you the first person that's kind of done the social media stuff for them, or are you like in a team?
I think there was maybe one or two people before me. But yeah, there's like a small marketing team that we have in-house.
Nice.
So I'll
Nice.
be here for 2 years in June.
Nice. That's exciting. That's
Yeah.
crazy too, because I feel like 2022, right? That was not that long ago, but it's
Yeah.
crazy how fast time goes.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, I feel like we just covered a lot in terms of all of the
hmm
stuff you have going on and all the different
Yeah.
aspects of that. But that being said, because you are in such a unique industry of both agriculture, Western fashion, and then also like the hunting side of things, do you have any advice maybe for a younger girl or woman who's looking to get involved in some of these different spaces, maybe?
Yeah, I would, obviously social media helps, start following people that kind of share their info or who inspires you to do something, and just kind of, you can ask them questions, reach out to them, reach out to other people. um Asking questions, I feel like, is a big one, but just chase your dreams and don't, I mean, it might be scary and intimidating at first, but just go after it.
Yeah, for sure. And I always say the worst thing people can tell you is no, right? And
hmm
so if you have a question, and also I feel like in these communities of these different industries that we just talked about, for the most part, everyone really does want to help somebody. Like if you have a question or you want to know something about something, people really do genuinely, I think at least, want to help
Mhm.
people. And so it's nice to know that you may be new and it may feel scary and intimidating, but there's somebody out there that's definitely willing to help. You just kind of maybe have to ask a few different people to get to that person.
Yeah, for sure. And there was this one quote that I don't remember how it exactly goes, but if you're not failing maybe once or a few times, then you're not really learning also. It kind of goes hand in hand with each other.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like a lot of times we're so scared to fail that we don't even try, but
Mhm.
you gotta fail sometimes, and
Yep.
sometimes failure is the best success because it leads to the next thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
so that stuff's always fascinating to me in terms of how people got to where they are and, like, the doors that closed that led to other doors that opened.
Mhm.
But yeah, was there anybody, like, in your kind of journey that has helped you in terms of either mentorship or someone you asked the question to that kind of led to a different opportunity?
I would say there's been a few people. The Minnesota Farm Bureau president has helped me a little bit through college with connections. My dad and his connections, and
Yeah.
then I worked for a sheep farm out at. It wasn't part of college, but it was near college, and the owners of that also kind of helped me with a bunch of different areas and learning things. So I feel like always people along the way that you meet and will help out.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Um, well, as we wrap up today, is there any contact information or a good way for people to get in touch with you if they are wanting to connect in any way?
Yeah, I would say you can reach out to me by email or Instagram. Um, would you like me to give them to
Yeah,
you?
yeah. Give your handle and then I'll make sure that I put it in the show notes as well.
Okay, so yeah, my Instagram handle is DAMMIAAA. My name, but a little bit different version. And then my email is damiacole1@gmail.com.
Perfect. Well, if anybody is listening and they are interested in connecting with her, please make sure to do so. Like I said, I will put all that information in the show notes. But thank you so much for spending time with me. I'm so glad that we finally got to do this and got to chat a
Yeah,
little bit.
thank you so much for asking me to be on.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Ag Chicks. Don't forget to follow along on social media at Ag Chicks for more agricultural related content, and also be sure to check out your favorite podcast gear from www.agchicks.net. We'll see you next time.